Welcome to the Stronger Leader podcast, home of the hashtag Stronger movement, where we explore the fascinating tapestry of human experience. I'm your host, Tony Cardello. Each episode, we'll sit down with a remarkable guest to dive into their unique journeys, from successful business leaders to individuals who have faced the darkest of times and emerged stronger, even from some of the inspiring youth of this emerging generation. We'll also cover essential topics on marriage, leadership, as well as spiritual, physical, and mental health, all in hopes to provide you with the tools and motivation to navigate your own life's challenges. Whether you're here to learn, grow, or simply be inspired, there's something for everyone. So get comfy, settle in, and join us as we embark upon this journey together. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button as well. Turn on the notifications so you'll know whenever we drop new content. All right, let's get started.
There we go.
Welcome to another episode of the Stronger Leader podcast. It's your host, Tony Cardello, and the crowd goes wild. I'm here with my man, Wynn Michalak. Said it right. That's right, right? Yeah. And what's really cool about Wynn being here, well, first of all, Wynn, audience cheers for him too. What's really cool about Wynn being here that is such an honor for me is he actually flew in from Detroit. Are you in Detroit now?
No,
we
live in North Carolina.
You're in North Carolina now, so even further, right? Flew in all the way from North Carolina to bless me with his presence, and man, it's such an honor. And you know what's really cool is Wynn and I have been kind of chatting recently, I don't know, over the last couple of weeks, right?
Yeah.
Back and forth texting, and I think purposely we haven't really gotten into really getting to know each other because we knew this was going to come. And so this is a great platform for that. We'll get to know each other. You know, Wynn's a wrestler like I was. He's a man of God. He's on a mission. And, you know, I think just in the short time that we've gotten to know each other, I think our values align a lot. And I think this is going to be a pretty good podcast. So I'm super excited for it. So let's start out with the basics, man. Just tell us who you are, where you're from, a little bit about your upbringing.
Yeah.
Go as far or shallow into your story as you want, and I'll pull it out of you later.
Yeah. So I grew up in Michigan. I was raised by two school teachers.
First of all, I did say it right, Wynn Michalak.
Michalak, yep.
Okay, that was a whole production before the podcast started, so I want to make sure. All right.
Yeah. It's
So you grew up with two school teachers.
Both of them were college athletes.
Okay.
And so growing up, I have a younger brother, about 6 years younger. So we've never really been super close.
And you did say you grew up in Detroit, right?
I grew up about 2 hours north of Detroit in the Thumb.
Okay.
So it's farm country, but both of my parents were teachers, grew up all outdoors activities, played about every sport that you possibly could.
Yeah.
Honestly, just anything that I could get my hands on, that's what we started doing. And when I was 5, so my mom was track and cross country coach when I was growing up. And so when I was 5, track and cross country season, the fall was over, and my parents were like, well, you're about that age to start doing something. Like you can do another sport.
Yeah.
And they gave me the option to swim or to play basketball. My mom had played college basketball. My dad had played basketball in high school. Yeah. At the time, I didn't really know anything, but we had a really good wrestling team at my high school. And my parents were like, well, you can wrestle. And I'm your typical 5-year-old boy.
Yeah.
So I chose wrestling. And I never really looked back.
What's your dynamic of siblings and whatnot? Do you have siblings?
Yep. I have a younger brother. He's about 6 years younger than me.
Okay.
We have never been super close just because of that age gap.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time, you know, we got to like kind of the ages where we could be closer, we could kind of just separate it in our ways in some of this stuff in our life. And we have kind of had some ups and downs, and hopefully, you know, we can kind of mend some of those differences.
Working through that.
Yeah. We're working through it a little bit. I had some health issues a couple weeks ago, and he messaged me and asked how I was doing and stuff like that. So that really meant a lot.
Now, where's he at? What part of the country?
He lives in Michigan, kind of like the western side of the state.
Okay.
So yeah, he works for a big machine rental company.
Got it.
Over there. So yeah, he loves what he's doing, and I'm hoping that we can kind of come together with some of our differences because, I love him. Yeah. I do, and I pray for him on a daily basis. because
maybe I can help you work through some of that.
Yeah. It's tough to have a sibling that you're not super close with and have some animosity with.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
So, yeah.
So tell me, so wrestling at 5.
Started wrestling really early.
I joke. I came out of the womb in a headlock because I'm the youngest of 5.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm the opposite end. So you were blazing the trail, and the trail was blazed for me. I didn't really have a choice to go. Here you have a choice. You're going to wrestle or wrestle.
Wrestle, yeah.
So that's what we did. So tell me about your wrestling career, going all the way through.
Yeah, so I grew up wrestling, and first couple years probably didn't win a match.
Got it.
But I stayed with it. I loved the competition. I loved the battle of it, one-on-one. And like I said, I played every other sport under the sun. So I kept wrestling, played baseball, ran track, ended up playing football in high school. And in high school, I started concentrating after my, I think, freshman year, maybe sophomore year, started concentrating on just football and wrestling.
Okay.
Football, because I wanted to play football in the future. And wrestling because I loved wrestling.
Yeah.
Well, football didn't work out. I was a quarterback, and
how big were you in high school?
So I wrestled my senior year at 189.
What about freshman year?
152.
What do you think I wrestled in high school?
135.
112.
112. You're a
Senior
little guy.
year.
A little guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I was a big guy. I started big, finished big. But yeah, football just didn't work out, and wrestling did. So I went and wrestled at Central Michigan.
So tell me, back up through youth wrestling. Tell me about your any high level of success at all in youth wrestling. Did you ever win state? Go to state?
Yeah.
What was your state?
I think I won state twice, and I placed at state pretty much every year from maybe 9 or 10 all the way until high school.
Okay, so then tell me about your high school career. What'd that look like?
High school career, I had a good career. Didn't lose very much. Got sick my freshman year, ended up not placing that state tournament.
Got it.
Was a state champ as a sophomore. I got upset in the semis as a junior and ended up third, and then won it again as a senior.
Got it.
My senior year was pretty straightforward. I didn't really have anybody come close to me. I think I had like 63 wins with like 57 pins or forfeits.
Oh,
so
man, you were on fire.
Yeah.
So tell me, what do you think? What do you think the turning point? In high school, what do you think? After coming off an upset like that, losing and then total domination just in a year. That's a big change. What do you think was there a mindset shift? Was it something?
Yeah.
What was it?
Yeah, I think I started to wrestle to love the sport again rather than trying to protect something. As a sophomore, I was a state champ, coming back, defending state champ, favorite in the state in our division. And I kind of wrestled to protect something. And as soon as I lost, all bets were off.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I lost that match. I still placed already. I'm just going to wrestle and prove that was a fluke. Like I always felt like I was trying to prove somebody wrong.
Yeah.
And so I wrestled. I ended up, I think I might have tech falled the guy that was supposed to be in the finals with me.
Oh yeah.
And I just went nuts and just wrestled really hard and wrestled to score points. And like I said, I wanted to prove that it was a fluke that I lost.
Were you because the 189 high school boys can either be a little thick and chubby or super muscular. What was your body composition?
I would say I was kind of in the middle. So I was tall and skinny, but still muscular at the same time. I wouldn't say I was like this big jacked up dude. I was kind of skinny.
But you weren't chubby.
No, I was not chubby.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So that 189 class is dangerous.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, it's funny, speaking of that weight class, 71 was the guy, so I went to an all boys Catholic high school.
Okay.
Well known, like nationally ranked in their football program. Okay. And our wrestling program, I think, was designed for their football players to stay in shape. And that's it.
Yes.
So there was no, bless Coach Wakir. He was a great wrestling coach and all that. But we just, the talent wasn't coming to that school. We were known for football. It was an all boys Catholic private high school. So the recruiting was at full tilt, even though you weren't supposed to back then. We were for football, and so, being all boys, they put you in the 5A class because they take your school attendance, multiply it. Yeah. So, all right. So, we were, wrestling obviously followed suit, and we were in big class, and it was tough. And me being a little guy and not really having anybody to wrestle with, I, wrestling 112, I practiced with our 71 pounder who was a freaking freak of nature, football player, that wasn't very fun. Right. But anybody under him, I'm kind of not really having my way with, but I got burned out. I got burned out just getting the shit beat out of me every day in practice by some big dude, it wasn't fun to me. I wasn't wrestling. I was just a tackling dummy at that point, So that was my turn for me in height, because I wrestled since I was a kid all the way through, and I just got bored of it and got burned out. And then other things led. But anyway, so all right, so then you ended up getting a scholarship for wrestle?
I did. I got a little bit of an athletic scholarship, and then I was a straight A student my entire life. School was boring to me, but easy growing up. And so I had all A's. I think I had an A- in my AP Chem class. Wow. And so I had academic money to go to school. So my school was pretty much paid for.
Good. And you went where?
Central Michigan.
Okay.
Yeah, wrestled for the legendary Tom Borelli.
Yeah.
At the time, who just retired a couple years ago. But yeah, he brought me in, and I got to tell this story because I had told him when he came and talked to me that I wanted to play football. And I really appreciate him showing interest, but I wanted to play football, and that was my decision. And he just kind of always was there.
Just there, yeah.
He was there. And so our team was in the state semifinals, and we were playing on an AstroTurf field. And we didn't have AstroTurf. We were farm boys.
Yeah.
And so we went to Central Michigan to actually practice on their AstroTurf. Well, there was a blizzard, and they were trying to sweep the field off. And I'm looking up in the stands as they're plowing the field off so we can practice in this blizzard. Mm-hmm. And Coach Borelli was sitting in the stands in a blizzard watching me play football.
Oh.
And I was like, wow.
Yeah.
There's something there.
Yeah.
And so when I finally came to the decision that I wasn't going to play football, he had really impressed me just with his words and his dedication and just his demeanor of how he leads. And so it was pretty much a no-brainer.
So when you say you got some athletic money was it for dual sport, for football, wrestling, or was it for football?
No, it was for wrestling.
It was for wrestling.
It was for wrestling.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, I decided.
So you were wrestling, but you still also wanted to play football.
Yeah, at the time.
I got it. Okay.
Yeah, when I was in high school, I wanted to play football.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of wasn't working out. A lot of the Division I schools, because I was a quarterback and hadn't really played other positions, they wanted me to come and play defense because I was big. I was fast. Mm-hmm. I liked contact.
Yeah.
And so they wanted me to come and walk on and earn it on defense because I hadn't played, which I understood.
Yeah, sure.
I still didn't like it. It didn't quite sit right with me. And so I chose to wrestle. And talking to Coach Borelli, he just really instilled in me that he felt I had something special with the way I trained and my mindset and my physical attributes that I could be a national champ. And I believed him.
Yeah. I
mean, I had no reason to believe him except he said it, but I did. I believed him. Yeah. And so I bought in, and I ended up not playing football. I All-American as a freshman, as a redshirt freshman. Mm-hmm. The football team instantly showed up on my doorstep saying, hey, you want to come play football?
Hey, about that.
And our football team was starting to get good. That's when Brian Kelly came in, and we were a top 25 team, I think my junior or senior year in college. Mm-hmm. And I just was like, no, I'm good. Yeah. I'm not going to look back and split my time.
Jack of all trades, master of none, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I didn't want that.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Okay, so college. Tell me about your college wrestling career. What level of successes did you have?
So I was a 3-time All-American.
Okay.
NCAA runner-up my senior year.
Got it.
So I placed as a freshman. I was the first freshman All-American in Central Michigan history. And then I was the number 1 seed at the NCAA tournament my sophomore year.
Oh, man.
And lost in the second round to a guy named Chris Weidman. Some people may have heard of him.
Yeah. He went on to do MMA, right?
Yeah. He was a UFC champion.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But he wrestled at Hofstra. He was super athletic. Had just a really good wrestler, and I caught him in the second round, and he beat me. Yeah. Plain and simple. So I did come back and end up placing, but it wasn't where I wanted to be.
Yeah. Right.
And then my senior year, I got upset and lost in the round of 12 in the blood round. Didn't place. And then my senior year came back and made it all the way to the finals and lost in the finals to another MMA guy, Phil Davis.
Phil Davis, yeah.
Yeah.
Man. Well, so no inspiration to go on to MMA after, or did you fight at all? Did you? You never did?
No.
Didn't have any desire to whatsoever?
No, I had people come up and say, you could do it. We could get you fights, all this stuff. And I was just like, I don't want to get punched.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, I did it for a period. I did it for about 5 years. And that somebody was asking me like, man, why because I was 5-0, and he goes, I can't remember how they said it. Why would you want to do a sport where you can get punched? I was like, I didn't. I'm like, did you like getting punched? No, that's why I won. I didn't get punched very often. It was an amateur nonetheless, but I got rocked a few times,
Oh yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. I don't really want to get punched either.
No.
It's funny because when I was doing MMA, being a wrestler, belt ranked in jiu-jitsu, grit on the ground, obviously, natural. Yeah. So I remember one fight I went with a local Muay Thai guy that's like the guy in Kansas City for Muay Thai. I trained my entire training camp. The entire training camp was all stand-up Muay Thai.
Wow.
I played soccer growing up, so I've got a natural kick, swing, and so, man, I had this leg kick just dialed. I had the vision in my head. I was going to kick this guy's leg off of his body. Soon as we came out, I went straight in for a double leg and took him down.
It's just natural.
I did not throw one kick. Trained it for 6 weeks. Didn't throw one kick. It was so funny.
Wow.
So tell me about in your faith, right? So that's we know that's a big part of your life now. When did that enter into your life? Did you grow up with some element of it and then stay in it, or in and out? Just tell me your faith journey. I think that's super important.
I was raised Catholic.
Okay, likewise. I'm noticing those because I had Caden Henschel on the other night.
Okay, yeah.
Raised Catholic as well, and he's from Wisconsin. And I'm noticing a lot of Catholicism up in those northern states.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. Huge Catholic presence. Where I was growing up, even like where I was at school, I still went to Mass. But I was when I got to college, I was lost, like very lost. Everything was on my own. My value was in my wins and losses or my medals. I was looking for value in all the wrong places. And, it cost me. I can say growing up, I knew that Jesus was my savior.
Yeah. Right.
But I had no relationship. None whatsoever.
It's funny you say that. I was talking to Caden about this the other night, and I think I've kind of figured it out. I appreciate my Catholic upbringing because it was really rigid, with all the sacraments, and you learn a lot of theology, but as and it's Christian, right?
Yep.
But I don't ever remember. I remember every prayer. I remember when to stand up and sit down and kneel. There's a lot of memory that goes on in each mass, right? The hymns and there's a lot of memory. I don't ever remember being taught about having a relationship with Jesus. And I know that now when I go back to Catholic masses, if I go to funerals and weddings and stuff, like some Italian, and of course, if we go to a wedding, you're going to a mass.
Yeah.
And so I really appreciate the reverence of the service because I understand it on a deeper level. Right?
So do I.
But there's so many people that are Catholics that don't have a relationship with Jesus, and they don't even they just know when to stand up and sit down, and they don't even know. My parents and I when I really dove into my faith, once I got sober, I'm the youngest of the family, right? And so I'm kind of the spiritual leader of the family now. It's funny how that works, right? So my mom likes when I pray at our family dinners. My dad's still old school, so he likes to say, "Bless us, O Lord," and these gifts which are. And like my dad asked me why, how come you don't say that prayer anymore? I said, "Well, Dad, we don't talk like that anymore. In fact, I don't even know what it means. Bless us, O Lord, and these thy gifts from thy bounty. What even is that?" Yeah. Like my kids don't know what thy bounty is.
Yeah. It's not how I'm going to have a conversation with a friend.
No, at all. Right. And so that whole relational piece with Jesus is it. So sorry, I didn't mean to hijack that piece of it.
I love it. Like that is a story that I've heard from many people that grew up Catholic. Yeah. And I have a reverence for the sacraments and some of the tradition, but I also understand that too much tradition can lead to idol worship.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I don't ever want to get towards that. And so I think that's where I got away from Catholicism because, like you said, the tradition and the sacraments, the prayers, it didn't mean anything to me. It was just repetition.
My wife grew up in the Catholic Church as well, and she went to the church, the grade school, all the way through school. And when we went to get married, she went to her priest her priest all the way since she was a little girl, and said, "Hey, will you come down to Our Lady of Sorrows," which was a church downtown, to marry us? She wanted her priest to marry us, right? The nostalgia of that, and he wouldn't, because he said, "You can use our church." And she's like, "We don't have a center aisle," and he's like, he goes, "I'll do it, but you got to donate $5,000 to the church." Tells my in-laws that, right? And I didn't know this at the time. So I'd have been like, screw that. We'll get somebody else. But yeah, so that was that for my in-laws, for myself, my wife. That was kind of a big turning point for us. Like, all right, we're going to do this because we've already kind of committed to it. And we both grew up in the Catholic Church. We want to get married in the Catholic Church, purely out of tradition, But yeah, that was when he asked for money to marry us, that was, it was kind of gross.
Yeah, that would bother me.
Yeah, for sure. So, okay, so go on.
So I got through college, started as graduate assistant at Central Michigan coaching, and I was still training. I was doing well at freestyle. It was really the first time I had wrestled it. I didn't wrestle freestyle growing up, just folk style. And so I got through the 2 years for the graduate assistant position and decided that I was going to keep wrestling. And I moved to Colorado Springs. Under Brandon Slett, he kind of recruited me out there to be a resident athlete, and he really did pour into me and get me to come to Bible studies. And I was going to church still. Definitely, I would go to a Catholic service. I would go to a non-denominational service. Like, I kind of mixed it up and I still didn't have a relationship with the Lord. Mm-hmm. And after college, like during college, you wrestle a lot.
Yeah.
Right. I wrestled. I don't know. I had 130 wins in college over four years, not 6 or 5 or whatever it is now.
Yeah.
But I was still very lost. And so when I had my value in my wins and my losses, and you have farther between those, you have to fill that gap. And so I started filling it with socializing. Started trying to find girls that would fill it. Yep. And so really got heavily into porn and sex and womanizing a lot. Mm-hmm. And
drugs or alcohol ever enter the equation?
I mean, I drank, but it was definitely social. It wasn't, it was never an addiction on that side of things. But got through 2012 Olympic trials and didn't make the Olympic team. And with all that stuff, I just crashed. Huge depression for a couple weeks. When I finally kind of came out of that, I decided that it was definitely time to just try somewhere else. Not really a good reason.
Try somewhere else, meaning church or home?
Training.
Got it.
Training. So I moved from Colorado to Illinois.
Okay.
I was dating a really nice girl.
You're out of college at this point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. This was 2012. I graduated college in 2008.
So you're training for Worlds and Olympics and you're okay.
Yep. So 2012 comes. I moved to Illinois. So now I'm a volunteer assistant at Illinois. I'm still training. Working really on my mental game, but now I'm back in more of a college atmosphere too. Mm-hmm. And that wasn't good for me at all. I was doing a long distance relationship thing, and really nice girl that I met while I was in Colorado Springs. And
was Colorado, sorry to cut you off. Was Colorado Springs, that wasn't that, what was that one training camp that did the documentary on the Fox?
That was Foxcatcher. That was John DuPont.
Yeah. Where was that at?
That's out in Pennsylvania.
Okay, that was Colorado. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, go ahead, sorry.
Yeah. No, so I was dating a girl, and I really wasn't treating her very good. I was talking to other girls and kind of like just playing the field. Mm-hmm. Like had basically a hard time saying no. If someone showed me attention, I just kind of ran with it.
Yeah.
And I actually started dating another girl, and then they found out about each other.
Oh yeah.
And that's when I kind of was just done. Like I was that bad person, that bad guy that was using women that I didn't want to be. And I hated myself. Mm-hmm. Absolutely hated myself, and didn't see a way that I could be redeemed. And I called Coach Slay and just kind of asked him, like, I don't know what to do. I can't see myself being redeemed. I know like Jesus saves, Jesus redeems, but I don't see it. I don't understand it. And so he introduced me to David and told me about David and all of David's sins and his bad mistakes. And I was like, wow. Well,
the Bible character David.
Yes.
Got it.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. And so learning about David and Bathsheba and then David sending, murder and just all the stuff, the poor decisions that David made and the consequences that he had. But God still, when he repented, God still called him a man of his own heart.
Man, yeah.
And that was like a weight off of my shoulders of he did all that plus he did what I did plus. And if that can happen, then I'm not lost. I'm not like, it's not over for me. And so I started reading other characters in the Bible and just learning about them and how he used broken people in the Bible. And what really hit me was I didn't just learn the theology of it. I actually gained a relationship with the Lord that I didn't know existed. So
important.
Yeah. And so that's when I consider myself saved. And that was at the beginning of 2013. I just started reading my Bible and learning and wrestling. And that was my life.
That is life.
So it was, it was awesome.
You know Jeff Jordan. The Jesus Train stuff. Yeah. That's all the we just wore it to the gym this morning. It's God wrestling family or something. Yep. Yeah, that's it. It's life.
that was life, and that was my life. And I was good with it. I was in a really good position spiritually at that point. I was not healed, right? I was going to Sex Addicts Anonymous meetings and had a sponsor and like had accountability partners and apps on my phone to keep me off porn. Like,
okay, so this was deep.
It was deep, like to the point where there would be nights where all of a sudden it would be 5 o'clock in the morning and I had to lift at 6 and I like didn't even know where the time went.
Yeah.
It was pretty bad. And so getting into that really helped. Did not fix everything, obviously. Like I was not just magically healed. But I had more of a purpose and I felt a relationship, someone that I could go to that could redeem me.
Yeah.
Because I knew I couldn't do it on my own, which I had tried to do my entire life was just do stuff on my own.
Well, listen, man, and in all fairness, that's I feel drawn to the wrestling community, not only because I wrestled, but because I know that isolation piece. The isolation piece for us is a strength. It's a character trait that makes us really, really good at what we do in wrestling, right? Because we're able to do shit on our own.
Yes.
That's also our demise later if we don't recognize that, you know? And so when you're trying to, you're just like, man, I've cut weight on my own. I've done, I wrestle on my, I can do this on my own too, right?
Right.
And it's a trap.
Yes.
It's a trap. So tell me when did you meet your wife? You're married now, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm married.
When in this period did you meet her? Did you ever meet her, didn't hold on to her and then have to come back? Or did you? No. Okay. So you met her in your good life.
Well, yes.
Ish.
Okay. So I met her about 6 months after I was saved.
Okay. Did you get baptized?
No, I didn't actually.
You never have gotten rebaptized? No. You were baptized as a Catholic.
I was baptized infant baptism.
Have you thought about that?
I have. Is
there a reason you're not?
I don't feel the conviction to have just this symbol for others to see. Like I'd rather them see my changed life.
Yeah.
I have thought about it and I've talked to my pastors and stuff about it.
Yeah.
But I see baptism as this outward symbol of washing the old you away and rising new. And I guess what I was really convicted of was just show them that you're not the same person.
No question. No question.
So I met her about 6 months. I walked into the weight room. She was a college softball player at Illinois and she had just graduated, got pulled into the weight room by one of her old teammates. And we walked in the weight room. I was getting ready for World Team Trials. We walked in the weight room, and her butt was up in the air, and she was doing plate pushes across the cement floor. And I walked in. I'm like, Lord,
here we go.
What are you trying to do to me? I don't know what is happening.
And I know how softball players are built.
Yeah. Yeah. So she, we started actually chatting on Twitter that day.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, I actually about 3 days in, I tried pushing her away. I didn't give her an ultimatum, but I told her, I go, I love the Lord and I will always love him more than I love you, no matter what.
Yeah.
And I thought that would, I did. I did it so that I would try and push her away.
Yeah. Or not, or she'll stay. Right. And then
she
you got
did
a good
stay.
one. Yeah.
And she did stay.
What was her faith like at the time? Was she strong and convicted, or is this an evolution since you guys have gotten together?
Kind of both. She wasn't raised in a like a Christian house. They didn't go to church as a family, but she did have people around her.
Okay.
She would go to church every once in a while with friends or with other families, but she actually got baptized about 2 years after we met.
Okay, good.
And that was. We have grown a lot in our faith together.
How long you guys been married?
It'll be 10 years in January.
Okay. Tell me how old you are again.
I'm 40. I'll be 41 on Friday.
Okay. Hey, mine's the 12th.
Okay.
What's Friday? That's
7th.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. I'll be 47 now. I'm inching up on 50.
Don't tell me that.
I'm gonna do another bodybuilding competition when I turn 50. That's my wife.
Nice.
I did one a couple years ago, and
Okay.
it just like the commitment for that was insane, right? It was a 36-week cut.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because I was 240 when I started, and I stepped on stage at 201 at 3% body fat, and so doing it right, it took a long time. I had to do two trainings, but anyway, so my wife was like, absolutely not, never again. I'll support you through this one, but we're not doing this again. Our intimate life sucked. Everything sucked. It's like wrestling. It's so self-absorbed. I mean, it's all me, right?
Yeah.
We'd go out to dinner, and I would ask the manager at the restaurant, hey, I got my meal in the car. Could you put it and serve it on the plate when the dinner comes out? I mean, literally, I'm doing that stuff, right? So she's like, I'm done after this one. So I think I got her softened up to maybe let me do it every 10 years. So I'm the 40, the 50, 60, doing that. But anyway, so tell me about your relationship with your wife, your family. Are you guys, is the church and Christianity and the spiritual foundation in your home really strong now?
Yes. Yeah. I would say we always had our faith. We've had our ups and downs.
Mm-hmm.
Just different things between me and my wife. And
kids. You guys have kids, right?
Yep. I have 2 kids. I have a 5-year-old boy, Wynn Jr., and a 7-year-old daughter.
Got it.
When my daughter was born, I had this just fear, right? This fear that I was going to push her away from the church and away from faith. And so I just, in one of my prayers.
What do you think that was? Why do you think that?
Because of my upbringing and walking away from my faith a little bit in college and not having a strong faith is I wanted her to love the Lord the way I did. Mm-hmm. And I didn't want it to be because I love the Lord. I wanted it to be her relationship. And so in my prayers, in my conversations with our Heavenly Father, I just said, Lord, please help me.
Yeah.
It was one of those, there's about 3 times in my life where I really gave up and just let go, submitted it all to him.
Yeah.
And he told me, he goes, just love me.
Yeah.
Don't try and make her love me. You love me.
Yeah.
I'll take care of the rest.
That's great. That's great advice.
So it was really hard. But I would say that my daughter probably knows the Bible better than I do.
I love that.
She is a Bible just fiend. She loves reading the Bible. She loves Christian music, and it's such a good to see that. And now my son's kind of falling in the same line. He's different personality, hugely different personality.
He's a boy.
Yep. All boy. But he still loves Jesus. He just does it differently than she does, which is hard to parent,
Oh yeah. I got 3 of them. I get it. So tell me, Wynn Jr. wrestling yet?
Not yet. We need to. I'll put it that way.
Have you introduced it at all? Like
we wrestle every night pretty much.
Well, I mean, like, have you taken him to a club or anything? Let him see the practice?
No, I mean, I was still coaching when he was born.
I got it.
So he would come up to practice. They would roll around on the mat. I would wrestle with them. I mean, they have some singlet. I don't know. His singlet probably doesn't fit him anymore. But they have singlets and headgear, and they wrestle. He probably needs to be in something more organized because it's not enough just to do it with dad anymore.
Right. I'll tell you a funny story. So, obviously, when the minute we found out that we were pregnant with a boy, everybody kept telling us, because I have 2 girls, and everybody's like, "You're gonna have a third? You're gonna have your boy?" I'm like, listen, statistics say that the third one, if you have 2 of the same sex, the third one's 75% chance going to be the same sex. Right. And I'm like, that's 3 girls, that's a big risk. And, we ended up not planning it, but we got pregnant and found out it was a boy. So kind of excited to get a boy, and but I was so in love with my girls that I was a good girl dad. I let them put makeup on me, all the stuff, right?
Yeah.
And do my hair, and then finally it kind of started setting in, especially because, well, I'll tell you the funny story. My wife tells me, I wasn't doing the right things in life at the time. And I was up really early in the morning going for a golf tournament. And I was playing some scramble tournament. I'm not really a golfer, but it was a scramble tournament. Yeah. So I'm in the shower, and she comes and she says, "Hey, I had a really weird dream last night." Her dreams are like crazy vivid. That's one of her spiritual gifts, is dreams. Because she used to dream when I would be out. She would dream like, "I had a bad dream last night that you were with some girl," and she was right. I didn't ever admit to it at that time, right? But right. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, this girl's psychic," So she comes up and says, "I had this dream last night that one of the girls on Yale was pointing at my stomach and saying he or something, he's in there or something." And I was like, "Oh, just your dreams." And I'm thinking to myself, "Oh no, her dreams are really good." So she goes into the bathroom. I that was it. And then she comes out and puts on, remember Good Will Hunting when he slaps you? How you like them out? She kind of does that with the pregnancy test. She goes, "Bam, I told you I'm pregnant." And I was like, "Oh no." At the time I wasn't doing nearly as good as I am now professionally. And I was just like, man, I can't afford another kid, Right. And then, so I was a little angry and upset, and I don't know, my first reaction was to be mad at her that she didn't know her cycle better who knows, I was just
place and blame, right?
Yeah, right.
Like it doesn't takes 2 to tango.
Yeah, nothing in my life was anything about accountability at that time. Yeah. So I get out on the golf course, and I remember I'm like 3 holes into it, and I called her. I said, "Hey, I'm sorry. I am happy." I said, "Just, it's scary, bring another kid in." And I said, "I got a question for you though. If it's a boy, can we name it after me?" And she goes, "I wouldn't have it any other way." So it was cool, and on we have now, we got Tony Jr. And I tell everybody, because when we had him, his birthday's in January of 2015. Well, January 16th of 2016 is when I got saved. He was 1 year old. Okay. So I joke with everybody, because I was ornery. I was a handful. I was never really a bad kid. I was just a handful. Mm-hmm. I was in the middle of something. Right? Yeah. So my joke to the world is, just as soon as you thought I was calmed down after getting saved, I went ahead and introduced another one in the world. So hopefully he'll be a little bit better this time. He's still a handful, but he's good. Good. So anyway, the story is, I take him to wrestling. I'm waiting till the day that he can walk, and then I'm counting the days to get in that wrestling room. And so Fortnite, loves Fortnite. So I said, "Hey, let's go. We go to wrestling. I'll buy you the big V-Buck package." I think it was like $99 or something, right? I said, "I'll get you the big package if you'll go to wrestling." And he's like, "All right, I'll check it out." Well, we got a big wrestling room, and it's a lot of kids, and it's opening night. So all the kids, everybody's there on opening night, right? Yeah. And, coach yells, "All right, start jogging." And these guys start jogging. It's like a stampede, and the wind is just blowing, and he curls up next to me. I'm sitting against the wall. He kind of just nuzzles up next to me. He goes, "Hey, Dad, I don't need those V-Bucks. Let's get out of here."
Wow.
And I was like, just the life was, my soul left my body. I'm like, what? No, this can't be happening. So luckily the head coach, 2 of the coaches, the head coaches of the team, live here in my neighborhood.
Okay.
So we're friends, with the community and stuff. And I called him. I said, "Hey, Randy," because he wasn't there that night. And I said, "Tony wasn't feeling practice," and blah. He goes, "Come back Wednesday night. Bring him straight to me. and I'll take him. I said, hey, Randy, he likes Randy. I said, Randy, Coach Randy wants me to bring you straight to him. He personally wants to work with you at wrestling. He's like, all right, I'll try it. And so we walk in, Randy comes over and grabs him by the hand. They go walking off. And I was just like, oh, please let this work. Please let this work. So I made a deal with him. If he'll wrestle the first year, we don't have to compete. Let's just go to practice. We won't do any tournaments. Just come and have fun and just learn the sport, So that's what we did. We were in the wrestling room for the entire first year. We didn't go to one tournament. And then, he ended up taken to it pretty well, but
nice.
He's still not ate up with it. I want him to be, because he plays soccer year round.
Okay.
He's on a really high competitive soccer team. And so if you ask him which favorite sport, he still says soccer, because it's easier. So I know, and his soccer coach busts my chops all the time. He's like, man, why don't you just quit that wrestling stuff? I said, here's why, because when you guys get older and you're in your teens and you're traveling and they get in some fight, you're going to be glad that my son is on the team.
Yeah, there you go.
So anyway, yeah, it's been fun. All right, so tell me, talk to me about your career. What you're in with SportsLife.
Yep.
SportsLife Wrestling is you tell me about the full name of the company, the actual name.
So I work for SportsLife Wrestling.
Hold on, pause real quick, because I want to lead up to that. Mm-hmm. Did you, when you decided the wrestling is not really dead end, but hey, I gotta start probably having a career.
Yeah.
What did you do first?
I coached.
Okay, all right. Tell me about that, and then let's lead into.
Yeah, so I was a volunteer assistant at the University of Illinois.
Okay.
They basically paid me through a club to train with the guys, coach the guys. And so it's a way.
College?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. It's a way it used to be a way. Now they pay them,
Right. Yeah.
Back then they didn't really pay volunteers. They were volunteers. The university couldn't pay them. And
Correct.
so I got by. And, so in 2016, after the Olympic trials, my wife and I got married in January, Olympic trials in April. And in June, Michigan State approached me, and new head coach was coming in, and Michigan guy. So he brought me up there, and I ended up being the second assistant at Michigan State for 4 years.
Okay.
And then COVID hit.
Of course.
Yeah. And it was right after season, and I got a phone call from Scotty Sentes.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, hey, I'm at Campbell. I think I'm going to get this head coaching job. I want you to come down. I was like, oh, all right. Let's talk.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know a ton about Campbell. I knew that they were doing better with Coach Colat being there. It was a job that I would probably apply for, the head coaching position, but Scotty's telling me he's getting it. And I was like, all right, well, let's talk. So he called me. I took the job sight unseen in April, started working in April remotely. Obviously we couldn't be around the guys or have practice or anything like that. So there's no really sense in me moving down.
Right.
But I started working, started doing stuff, having some meetings on Zooms and stuff like that at the time. And
were you involved in the recruiting?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Recruiting was weird at the time because you could have Zooms and calls, but no one could be on campus. And it was really, the rules at that time didn't make sense.
Right.
None of them made sense.
Right.
But my wife and I moved down at the end of July, and that was a big ordeal. Selling our house in Michigan. Our house in North Carolina is contingent on our sale, but our sale is contingent on our buyers.
Oh, man.
And my wife's like, I don't want to sign, leave. And I finally convinced her, hey, we'll sign in the morning and then we'll drive halfway. And so we signed, but the buyers were having walkthroughs that day on ours. And so we're in West Virginia, and my phone rings at 8 a.m.
Mm.
And my heart just dropped. And I'm like, hello?
Mm-hmm.
And our realtor was like, hey, I got some bad news. And the buyers for our buyers walked.
So their contingency.
And so their contingency fell through. And it was, it was weird. It was, we had already signed our papers. We drove to North Carolina and basically talked to the realtor down there and said, hey, we're still working to try and do this. Our buyers wanted our house so bad. They got a gift from a family member to remove the contingency on their loan. Took 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So we lived in a hotel for 2 weeks. The night we moved in August 2nd, and the first night we moved in, we got hit with a hurricane.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was an interesting night. So we get up and
now, I mean, seriously, you're second guessing the whole thing right now.
Oh,
right?
Everything. My wife's pregnant.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So we, I'd never been in a hurricane. My wife's from Florida, so she had hurricane parties she told me about. I had never been in a hurricane.
Right.
And so next morning I get up, I walk out, there's tree branches and lots of leaves and stuff on the ground. It wasn't terrible. We're an hour and a half from the coast, so we weren't getting hit hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there was a lot of wind and a lot of rain, and I walk out on the front of my house and I look up at the roof and there's a wave in the front of my roof. And I'm like, what is that? That wasn't there yesterday. Well, something in the storm kind of moved something, and one of the beams warped.
Oh gosh.
And so then we had to call it. No one had ever lived in our house.
Uh-huh.
It was a new build.
Oh man.
And so yeah, I was questioning.
Where's this at, North Carolina? What part?
Oh, we live about 45 minutes south of Raleigh.
Okay.
So it's central. Technically, it's central North Carolina. So
all right.
We're an hour and a half from the beach, about 2 hours from the mountains. Kind of ideal.
Smoky Mountains? That's
Blue Ridge.
Okay, all right, got it.
Yep.
So, all right, so you're coaching now. You take the job?
Yep, I take the job.
Scotty ropes you in.
Yep, he ropes me in. So it's funny too, because when I was a GA, I was on staff when Scotty was at Central.
Oh, okay.
So we weren't even teammates at Central. I was one of his coaches.
Got it.
And so now he's my boss.
That's great. Yeah.
So we went down there, and I coached at Campbell for a few years. And that last year I was there, things just felt off. I don't know why. I wasn't.
You were there with Tay, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was there with Tay. Tay was there for a year before I got there.
Okay.
And Tay was great, man. I mean, I actually was pushed by one of his youth coaches, who was a friend of mine, to recruit him out of high school when I was at Michigan State. And we just didn't have the money.
Yeah.
We just didn't. It wasn't a disrespect thing for Tay. It was, we didn't have the money.
Afford him.
Yeah. We didn't have the money, and we knew that he was going to get some money.
Yeah.
So, he ended up at Campbell, and I think it was the absolute perfect place for him.
Yeah. Did you, so on that note then, when he went through his spiritual battles and his darkness and everything, were you with him after he had gone through that, or during?
Both.
Okay.
Both.
Okay. So you've walked that walk with him.
I've walked that walk with him. Yeah.
Got it. So tell me, it's obviously not a private school. I think college rules are probably a little bit different than maybe public high schools. Tell me what a spiritual involvement with an athlete, does that get hairy? Not
at Campbell. Campbell was originally a Baptist school.
Oh, it was?
Yeah. It started as a seminary.
Oh, okay.
They still have their seminary. It's just grown.
Got it.
So yeah, at Campbell, it is
a religious school. It's a Bible school. Okay.
Yes.
All right, good.
Yep. But no, there was no problem. Part of me always wanted to lead with my faith.
Yeah.
And share my faith and speak truth.
Were you deep in your faith when you were at that school?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And was continuing to grow.
Yeah.
When we were in Michigan, we had very strong faith, but I think we consumed a lot of the faith. We went to church to be poured into.
Yeah.
When we moved, I say this because I thought we were moving to Campbell for my coaching. I actually think we moved down there for our church community.
For your ministry. And yeah.
Right? We moved down there, and the church community we were in, the biggest thing that they teach and are playing out and living in their everyday life is we are disciples that make disciples.
Yeah.
And that has become a very big part of our life. And I don't think I knew what that was until I got down there. And I still wouldn't know what it was if I wasn't at that church. Because our pastor is very passionate about it. We've had, when we got there and started going to this church, there's about 500 or 600 people. There's probably 200 now.
Oh, wow.
Like, we've lost a lot because they want to consume, they want to receive messages and that kind of thing. And that's not what our church is. If you're going to be in our church, you're going to be part of the church, part of the church body that gives back to the church body.
The outreaches and whatnot. Yeah, that's great. So while you're at Campbell then, and you're going through, talk to me. Tay's going to come on here at some point and share his story here pretty shortly. We've gotten pretty close. We were just texting again today. I think we text about every day.
Nice.
I love the kid. He's so cool. Tell me about maybe some of those, maybe not necessarily only Tay. Tell me about some of your spiritual relationships with your athletes.
Yeah, I think when I first got there, a lot of the athletes knew that my faith was big for me, but they didn't know how to approach me with it. And I didn't really know how to approach them.
So I want to make sure I'm glad you said that, because I want this podcast to be a platform for people to walk away with something applicable they can apply to their life and do something different. So let's talk about that. If there's a college athlete, or any athlete for the matter, watching this podcast, and they have questions about faith, and they know their coach is a Christian or whatever, what's that look like? How does that what's the icebreaker there, and what would you encourage, knowing what you know now, how would you encourage that athlete to respond?
I would definitely encourage the athlete to go to their coach and ask. Right. And if they don't feel comfortable doing it, maybe at the facility, maybe go and grab coffee with your coach and ask whatever questions you have. I was lucky being at Campbell. When I was at Michigan State, I definitely thought if I shared anything about my faith, even if it was directed from the athletes, that something would happen and I would get fired.
Yeah.
At Michigan State, I felt that. Yeah. I don't know that that's true. That may just have been something I told myself, but that's what the atmosphere felt like.
Yeah.
When I got to Campbell, I felt like I could share scripture. I wasn't as, I wanted to do it more. But I did have guys come to me and ask. And I think one of the things that really helped was if we were out to dinner, I would ask the guys, hey, do you mind if I bless the meal? And that was a way for me to tell them, like, hey, I am open with my faith. And so it was a slow process. And the last year I was there, something in my heart from the Lord just really convicted me that I needed to make my time with the Lord and in the Word a little bit more visible, and a little bit more deliberate. And so I woke up at 4:30, 5 o'clock every morning. It didn't matter if we were on a trip. It didn't matter if I was at home. I woke up and was in my Bible and in prayer for at least an hour. And so if I was doing that around our guys, like if we were on a trip, I was down in the lobby because I was usually rooming with Scotty and he was sleeping. And so I would get up, I would get my Bible, I would sneak down to the lobby, and I would be in the lobby on my Bible, taking notes and praying. And I wasn't doing it like so everyone could see me. I was doing it because that's what I felt like I was told to do. Right? Did the guys see me? Yeah, they saw me.
Yeah, it served two purposes in that regard, yeah.
And I think it opened some of them up to be able to come and talk to me, and I think Tay was one of those guys. Yeah. Tay was really lost in a lot of different ways, and he can share his own testimony because it's a pretty powerful one.
Yeah,
but there are some stories, there are some times where Tay and I would go for walks, and he would tell me this stuff, and we would have really long conversations on trips about stuff, and the one thing I will say about Tay and his walk in that time is he was always looking for answers. He was always questioning what people were saying, but he was never getting those answers from God's word. It was always commentaries from God's word. This guy on YouTube or this guy on TikTok. Like he was always getting it from a person and never actually spending time in the word. Is what I found. I got
to tell you, that convicts me a little bit because I'm probably guilty of that. I like to consume my algorithm on all my social medias is great. I got all the good pastors, the great sound bites, and I think they're great leaders, no doubt. But nonetheless, it's it's the interpretation of the word that they're delivering, which I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I don't spend enough time, actually in the Bible. I do my Bible reading plan every morning. I'm on the treadmill. I try and tell people all the time, making sure that's part of your life, at least that you're checking the box every day. At very least, it's just make it, you can't go wrong, because while you're in there, you might find some good stuff,
Yeah.
And I'll read some scripture. I'll do a devotional and have a few passages, that kind of go along with the devotional. And so I do some of those hit me sometimes, but I don't really know how. And so you being in the Bible, I'd be maybe off camera here, and we can go in on that. Maybe give me some pointers on how to get better in the physical Bible. I mean, I've tried to buy a couple of different Bibles that I thought were cool that I would actually like work out of, and and I just haven't. So instead, I got all these like brand new Bibles laying around. I have my name put on them, everything.
Well, I think that's one thing growing up Catholic too, is like the Bible is an object that you're taught to like revere, which the Word of God is wonderful, but the physical Bible itself is just a book.
Yeah,
it's the words and the Spirit of God in it that speaks to us. And when I got over that part of I can't write in my Bible, that'd be like defacing the Bible.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's not true. Like if I need to underline something, or I need to write something down to go back to about a verse and what God said to me in my prayers, or what that means in my life at this time, like I need to write it down, or I need to highlight it so that I can find it right away if I need to quote it.
I've always admired when I see people walking around with their Bibles and they're all tattered and the pages are all, and you open up and there's 73 different colors of highlighters. Yeah. So I'm like, man, that he's in it. You just know they're in it, like, man, I wish I can get there one day.
You can.
Yeah.
You can.
I just need to do it.
It is more of, for me, getting in the Bible was, the biggest thing was prepare my heart, right? Pray, ask God to soften my heart, have him open my mind, and just tell me what I need to know.
Yeah.
What do you want me to know right now? Please point me to something. And I'll do that sometimes where like, hey, I'm not just reading through the Bible front to back. Lord, what do you want me to read today? Pray a little bit, ask him that. And then I open to what I felt like he was telling me. Mm-hmm. And I read that. And I'm telling you, most of the time, it's exactly like, it is something in my life that I'm like, I needed that.
Yeah,
I definitely needed that today.
Now I know why you were there.
Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you.
Okay, so I keep derailing you a little bit. It's great conversation.
I love it, though.
Yeah. So, okay, coaching at Campbell. You're not there anymore.
I'm not.
Okay, so tell me that transition. What happened next?
Yeah, so in 2023, 2024, that school year, just stuff kind of felt off. I felt like it was time to move. Mm-hmm. And it's happened before, like, hey, it's time to move on. It's time to find a new job. And Coach Borelli actually retired at the end of that year. And I'm like, oh, maybe this is like, he's pushing me to go back to my alma mater, try and be the head coach there. And my wife and I talked about it, and it didn't feel right. It honestly didn't. And I applied for the job anyway, and I didn't get the job. And I thank God, because I know that that's not where he wanted me.
Yeah, that was an ego deal, right?
Yeah.
Or nostalgia. It was yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. It was me wanting that.
Yeah. And
he didn't make me choose. So I'm very blessed, because I couldn't have said no. I wouldn't have said no. I know that.
Right.
So yeah, we went through that, and I didn't get the job. And at that time, at the end of that process, I actually went on a mission trip, a construction mission trip to Guatemala with some guys from my church. And through that process, like, I got to know those guys really well. We spent a lot of time together, spent time down there. We got to spend time with the Lord down there. And it was really just put on my heart of like, you need to get out of coaching. And it didn't make sense. I think I had been putting it off. I think I knew it, but I'd really, really been putting it off. And then I was in Guatemala. I didn't get that job. I was like, all right, I'm going to finish my contract and be done. And I went home, and I wasn't going to tell Scotty right away. Actually, I was going to like wait a week for when I got back, so he didn't think I was like crazy for going on this mission. And I had like this epiphany, and it was just all this spiritual thing. Like I didn't want him to think that it was like.
What's Scotty's relationship with Christ?
I don't believe Scotty's been baptized. I don't know for sure, but I do know that he's committed his life to Christ, and he is a believer.
Okay, all right, cool.
Which when he hired me, I don't believe he was.
Oh, good. Cool.
Yeah,
that's cool.
So, you'd have to ask.
So maybe
him.
that was your mission.
You would maybe, maybe. But yeah, I got back, and literally the day I walked in, I looked at Scotty when I walked in. I set my stuff down in my office, and I walked in his office and told him, even though I was not going to. I was like, no, like it was definitely, there was definitely this thing in my stomach just saying, no, don't put it off.
Right.
Just go tell him. And I told him. So had that transition, finished coaching, finished my contract out in May so that they could kind of transition and get some of the stuff that I had taken and I was responsible for into new hands.
Yep.
Because I was the associate head coach. So there's things that I did that I don't think any of the other coaches even realized I did at the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got through that, got done. And, it was such a relief off my chest, but I had no idea what I was doing.
So you didn't quit a job with another job in mind.
No, which my wife is like, what are you doing? Why didn't you have something set up?
Does she work, and has she worked?
No.
Okay. Got it.
When we were in Michigan, she was in fitness.
Okay.
She still does a few little fitness things online with some of her old clients, but not very much.
So she's got a training, like, certified. Okay.
Yeah, she was a certified trainer, had certifications in like corrective exercise, and she was really good at it. She cares so much about people. And yeah, no. So once we got down there, she has not really worked. She did end up getting her master's in trust and wealth management.
Oh, cool.
And so she has been working towards getting the certifications to become a financial planner or a financial advisor, eventually a financial planner. But that she's working on that, exploring some different avenues to do that right now.
Got it.
So no, we went.
Plus, you got little ones at home still. That's busy,
and that's really heavy on her heart.
Yeah.
Now they're both in school, so she's kind of like, "What are we doing?
What am I doing upstairs?" Nonstop.
They're kids.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, so I went pretty much the whole summer after that, where I really got to spend times with my kids and my family. We traveled a little bit that I didn't really get to do before. And just really felt like God was saying, hey, you asked for all these blessings. Here they are.
Yeah.
I've already given you blessings. Stop asking me for blessings that you don't need, because I've given you these blessings.
Yeah.
Until you appreciate them, I'm not going to bless you with other stuff. Right? Be faithful with the little, and you'll be faithful with the lot. But if I'm not, I wasn't doing that.
Yeah.
And so it got through the summer. My daughter was getting ready to go back to school, and I called Carl Perry and just kind of asked him, like, hey, how did you know your purpose? Carl and I had a relationship from when I was at Illinois. We weren't super close or anything, but had a conversation, and he basically just said, have you ever thought about ministry? And I was like, no, not at all. But then they were kind of growing. He was with FCA Wrestling at the time, and they were growing. And he started talking to me about these positions that he was planning on hiring, about coaching coaches and leading leaders and directing this. And everything just was like light bulb on, like, the positions you're talking about were made for me.
Yeah.
Like the words you're saying, I have said to my wife of what I want to do. And, so that was kind of that. And I started to go through the process of possibly getting hired with the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. And
you know Pete De La Rosa?
I know Pete very well.
Yeah, I just hooked up with him yesterday. We had about an hour and a half long phone conversation. Well, it started because I had Caden on the other night, and he said that Pete was instrumental in his change. And so I was like, well, I got to know this guy. So
yeah, Pete's awesome.
Yeah, I reached out to him, and I started telling him, just obviously just easy to talk to. And I just start going into my story. I was like, hey, I want to be mindful of your time. Do you have a bit? He's like, brother, we're that's what we're doing right now. We're building a relationship. Go for it. And so we're an hour and a half later, it was really good. And it's funny because I got to come home and I told my wife about it. And, he's so cool, man. He's like, hey, I want to pray for our wives. And we were talking, I said, all right, cool. Yeah. He's like, no, I'm like right now. I'm like, let's go, let's do it.
That's one thing you can count on with Pete is he is going to pray You need prayer, he will pray with you.
I mean, like prayer warrior.
Yes.
He went all, it was great, and so I was telling my wife about that. And then I told my son, I said, in fact, Tony, I said, your Jesus shirt that mom bought you? I said, Pete's the one that designed that. It's his shirt. And he's like, oh, that's cool. His ears kind of perked up, so thought that was cool. So anyway, so FCA, so you start that process.
So I was starting to start that process, and they decided to go in a little bit different direction. They've always been a very geographical ministry with area directors and regional directors, and they were going to kind of get away from the sport-specific side of things. And Carl and his team with FCA Wrestling just felt like that was not where their hearts were. That's not where God was leading them. And so they ended up making the really tough decision to leave FCA. Mm-hmm. And I was really lost then.
Yeah.
I felt like God had showed me my purpose and then all of a sudden snatched it away.
Yeah.
But there was definitely a plan, much greater than what I had. And Carl, a couple months later, called me and just was like, hey, we're with a new ministry. I think I might be able to hire you in like March or April, which would be like a year for me without a paycheck, without a job.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, I don't know if I can wait that long, Carl. He's like, I understand that. Like, you got to do what you do. Like, he was very gracious and really has always wanted nothing but what was best for me and my family. And, Thanksgiving came and went, and Black Friday came and went. And all of a sudden I started realizing, like, my kids are still really young and I want them to have an experience for Christmas.
Yeah.
And we were going to Michigan to visit my family. And obviously I felt the need to put Christmas presents under the tree for my kids.
Yeah.
And so I had a very deep emotional conversation at about 4:00 in the morning with God. And just, God, I need a direction. Just tell me where to go and I'll run, but I don't know where to go.
Mm-hmm.
And Carl called me the next day and we had been talking. It wasn't like uncommon for him to do that, but he called me and was like, Wynn, you've been in my prayers on my prayer walks. And I think God's trying to tell me that he wants me to hire you now. And this was hours after I had this very emotional conversation with the Lord. And I was blown away that God would answer my prayers that fast.
Oh, wow.
So we started that process, and per January 1st, I was hired with SportsLife. SportsLife Wrestling is the wrestling specific ministry for an organization called SportsLife Leadership. And so SportsLife Leadership is made with the vision of building sports communities for kingdom impact by infusing life into the leaders around the world. And so, because I was a wrestler, right, I have a passion for leadership and my faith. And so for me, it fell and aligned with my passions and what the Lord had put on my heart, almost more than FCA did. Although FCA is a wonderful ministry, SportsLife Leadership was where God wanted me. Mm-hmm. And so that was, like I said, God always has a plan that's greater than ours.
I know. I always joke that whenever I have these great plans, I feel like he's just going to tap me on my head and say, that's cute.
Yes. Right.
That's cute.
So yeah, I started in January, with SportsLife Wrestling, and, the thing that most people don't really know is, like, we had to start from the ground, right? Obviously, Carl's board came over with him and stuff, but the Lord has grown SportsLife Leadership and SportsLife Wrestling greater than I think Carl or Dan Britton, our president, could have ever imagined when they started. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't think their vision was where we are now.
That's great.
Yeah. I mean, we have, I think, 3-4 international nation leaders now.
Wow.
In the ministry.
Wow. That's cool.
We have Faith RxD, which is our CrossFit ministry, and we're starting SportsLife Jiu-Jitsu.
Love it.
Right? And so we're growing at a rate that's just incredible with people that love the Lord and love leadership. And I think God has been had me in coaching to get me where I'm at now.
Sure.
Obviously. And now he's got me here to get me somewhere else. But I say that because, like I told you before, I always wanted to lead with my faith.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know how to do that. And so now I know what that feels like. And now I know how to lead with my faith. So I want to come alongside these other coaches that have that feeling but don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
Right? We can help their leadership. We can help them be holistic leaders and lead with their faith and grow in their faith. But then we can also come along and help resource them.
Yeah.
Right? We can provide some different trainings and programs to do that. And then we can come along with resources like devotionals and Bibles and just those resources that coaches don't necessarily have when they're just coaching wrestling or when they're teaching and coaching wrestling, when they have other vocations and they need someone to help them. We can come along beside them and help them do that so they can actually lead a Bible study without having to like go through seminary school.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Which I think is really important, because if someone had been in my position helping me when I was coaching, I would still be coaching. I know that.
Yeah.
I would be fulfilling that purpose of leading with my faith. But now I'm in the other position helping other coaches do that.
Yeah. You know, so I say a similar progression for me, just as that I like working with youth. And I didn't really realize. So I went to prison. I went to maximum security penitentiary in Leavenworth for 4 years. And when I got out and I, because it's me, right? I had this desire that I wanted to go do prison ministry. Of course you do. You want to go back to prison. You know, I think I really just wanted to go back in and let them see me doing well, right? I think, you know what I mean?
It was kind of an ego, like a pride thing.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So that kept getting railroaded. I couldn't get in. I couldn't, you know, and then I ended up at the church that I'm at now, and this young black youth leader, stud, you know, he was a D1 college football player. Okay. And, you know, he's got some swagger, and, you know, and he came up to me, he's like, yo, Tone, you know, his story is, you know, he used to throw big parties, and he was like a big party promoter and stuff like that before he got saved, you know. And so he's like, yo, Tone, listen, bro, I need you, dude. I need you at the youth group. And I'm like, all right, man, I'll check it out. And I went up, and it's called Switch is the ministry with Life. I'm with Life Church.
Okay.
And it's called Switch. And, started kind of serving a little bit here and there, and then after the cadence of the night is you go in, they play games, and so the lobby of the church is mayhem. There's kids everywhere playing 9-ball and whatever else. There's balls just whizzing across the. It's, you know, it's a war zone, right? And then we go into the auditorium, and we actually have a service. It's church, you know, for the teenagers, right? And it's middle school through high school, and then after that we would break out into what was called switch groups, and it was age appropriate and gender appropriate. So, you know, you get the high school boys and high school, you know, so
important at that age, man.
Yeah, for sure. And so I ended up in just the first time with the high school boys, and bro, I mean, I was like, oh, I'm supposed to be here. Yeah. And I really started thinking about it, because though I started drugs, I lost my virginity and tried drugs at 12 years old. That was when kind of it started, but it wasn't really till high school when it spun like really wildly out of control. Mm-hmm. And so, like you're saying, if you would have had somebody to help you, you know, if I would have had somebody strong enough and a good leader, somebody that I could look, because I think that I model what the world, what kids think's cool. I'm buff. I got tattoos. You know, I'm a dude, right? I'm a bro. Yeah. Right. I'm 46 years old. I'm still dabbing guys up when I see it. You know what I mean? I'm a bro, and I relate to these kids. You know, I can, but I can talk to them with truth. Right. And I didn't have anybody that I thought was cool. You know, first thing as a teenager, that's what you're looking for too. Is like, is this dude cool? You're kind of a nerd. You're cool. Yes. You know, if you ain't cool, you ain't. I'm not hearing you. Right? So I didn't have anybody cool in my life. Everybody that was cool in my life was helping me get drugs. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so I realized that now I'm redefining cool and instilling that into the youth. And what's really cool about the community that we're in, so are the kids. Like we have, you know, our star running back for the local high school here, you know, stud, right? He's leading the first priority ministry, you know, Thursdays. Yeah. You know, he every day without fail since the start of school this year, he goes to a different table at lunch and shares the gospel every day. Wow. And now he's got 4, it's him and 3 other kids that are doing it together now.
That's amazing.
And, you know, this is a public school, right? Yeah. And so the definition of cool is being redefined. And I think that if we can do more of that, and like, so yeah, I can't go back and be a kid and relive my life, right? Mm-hmm. But I sure as hell can intervene right now, right at that moment where some kid's getting ready to go right or left.
Yeah.
And I can nudge them back onto that left track, right? And keep them right? Mm-hmm. And so, and furthermore, also, I'm a leader, right? I'm a leader in a secular space. I run the car dealerships. My wife and I own the med spa practices. We just went Monday night, and one of our girls that works for the med spa, young girl, just got baptized Monday night. She asked us if we'd be there.
Wow.
She comes out of the water, she's crying, and I catch her in the hallway bawling, hold her, hug her, and my wife, and then I had to leave because I had to get Tony, and then my wife called me. She said, Jess's parents weren't even there. And I'm like, but we were. Yeah. And that's our secular business.
Yeah.
And and it's in our group chat with all the girls in our business, our secular business. We're sharing the video of her being baptized.
Yeah.
I'm unapologetic at this point.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
If you work for me and like, oh, you're not supposed to talk about religion and work. I am in mine and I own the place. If you don't like it, you can go work somewhere else.
Right.
I love you.
Yeah.
But we're going to talk about Jesus here.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm trying to have that same level of commitment and authority everywhere I go. And I'm not abusing my authority. I'm using it. Right. I'm stewarding it.
Yeah.
And I'm in a secular space. Right. And so I've thought like a lot, how do I get more into the ministry side? And I think my boldness is calling me more into the secular side to do ministry. Yeah. Where it's uncomfortable. Because I'll tell you, when my entire life I've been obtuse and gone against the grain. So I'm not going to stop now.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go against the right. You know what I mean? I'm going to do it the right way.
Yeah, we're called to be bold, and I can't say the same. Like I haven't always been that one that went across against the grain. Like I definitely was not me growing up. It was not me.
You're a rule follower?
Yeah, or at least I was perceived as a rule follower. There's times when I was doing bad things, but, I hit it really well. Like I played the part really, really well. And I'm kind of ashamed that I did that and wasn't more transparent, but that's part of who I am now. And it's why I'm unapologetic about sharing my testimony. Yeah. Because I can't help anybody if I'm like, oh no, I had some rough spots, but now I'm a Christian. No. Mm-hmm. I was doing stupid stuff, just stupid, and treating people really bad. Like there's stuff, like you said, you were in drugs, and that's a very common story. But like I was being mean to people. Like I was treating women like they were objects, and like that was, man. It was bad. And if I don't share that part of me, people don't realize that I've changed.
Yeah, as a girl dad, you'll appreciate this. Somebody asked me early on, I don't remember if I was saved yet or if it was right at the very beginning, but somebody asked me and it convicted me, and it was, would you want one of your daughters to date you? And emphatically the answer was hell no.
No. And not before I was saved. No.
Yeah, and I'm like, no. And he said, then you better change, because you are exactly who your daughter's going to date. Yep. And I'm like, ugh. That was a big, I'm going to end up killing somebody. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. And so that's been something that's been heavy on my mind. So I'll share that one with you too. Yeah. So, right, just be. No,
you're right.
Be the guy you want your daughter to date.
Yeah,
that's who it's
a good
going to
be. Very good point.
Okay. So tell us, so SportsLife sounds great. Sounds like an awesome ministry. I want to know, who are you a resource for? If somebody's watching this, who are you targeting? Who do you want to call you, and what can you do for them? There may be a large community that you could do stuff for, but what's your particular target audience?
So I connect with the wrestling community just because I've wrestled for so long. Yeah, I have so much networking and shared experience with wrestlers, but I'm never going to turn away a leader from another team. Now, sports has always been my life, so I don't know anything outside of that. But for me, it's leadership.
Have you worked with any business leaders that not necessarily athletic related?
Not really. Mm-hmm. Not really. I do have a passion for that holistic approach to leadership, and not just the outcome approach, but that journey and how much a leader can pour in and get so much more out of their employees if they care about the person and they care about that person's growth, not just what that person can give them as a leader.
Yeah.
And I think that is something, I think there's a transition in business right now that's getting better at that, but there is still a problem where there's toxic leadership, where employees are just like tools.
Yeah.
Right. They're not actually people. And I think we need to get away from that. And so I've definitely had a voice on some social media about that lately. But I haven't actually worked with anybody about it. Right now, for me, a leader for me to work with and to help resource and provide leadership training would be like a coach, a parent. Like for me, a leader, and I don't want to isolate to just coaches, right? Because you have administrators, you have athletic trainers, you have parents, you have grandparents, you have team captains that can be great leaders on teams. And so I want to come alongside them and help raise them up in their community. Well, I want to come alongside them and give them the tools, right? Give them the leadership, help them grow in their faith and provide resources, help organize events for them, like whether it's a camp, a clinic, something like that can help them share the gospel in their communities, make them the one that's trusted. Because what is a leader? A leader is someone that has influence, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
It's anybody that has influence. You can be a good leader or a bad leader. Well, if I can come alongside you and make you a positive leader that shares the gospel, like I'm all for it. Like that is really where I am at. And what I'm trying to do is just create more of those leaders. And for me right now, it's wrestling. But if I have a buddy that's a baseball coach. And if he came to me and be like, dude, I need a resource. Like I'm going to help get one of my team captains to start a Bible study. Like, what can you help me? I'm like, yes.
Okay.
Right. Like no stop. I'm all in. I'm not going to ever be like, man, like you're baseball. Like, I can't, no,
Right.
That's not how I roll.
Yeah.
But
God transcends all sports.
Absolutely.
He's the mega athlete.
Absolutely.
So if there's a young wrestler watching this, that's kind of interested in faith, do you have a resource for that? Whether it's you or, you know, the program that you're with? Yeah. They would just reach out to you. So what I'll probably do in this comment is I'm going to link, I'll put, or in the comments of the description of the video, I'll put a bunch of links to your social pages, to your, you know, if you want to put your cell phone, whatever information, contact information you want to put in there, I'll definitely stick it in there. So people have you as a resource. Anything God and sports related, in any combination of the two, right?
Absolutely. Like I always tell people, like if you know anybody that is passionate about their faith, leadership, or for me, wrestling or sport, I want to talk to them about the ministry. Yeah. Like those three things, one of the three, it doesn't even have to be all three. Yeah. If they're passionate about one of those three things, I want to share the ministry with.
Yeah. I love people that have passion, period.
Yeah.
And then somehow you can install God in their life and they can be passionate about it.
Yes. Yes.
Much like myself. Well, dude, this is the part of the show where I always want to, you know, I know there's been some lead up to this and you knew you were coming on here. So, is there been any particular messaging that you wanted to make sure, whether we organically talked about it or if you wanted to make sure you were intentional about talking about it? Is there a message that you wanted to deliver to anybody? Was there anything you was hoping that was said that didn't get said? You know, anything like that? I want you to use this as your platform to be able to speak to, hopefully, you know, one of the cool things, the reason why I really started this podcast is do you know who Lecrae is?
Yep.
Okay. So Lecrae did a sermon, that I watched. So when I was going through addiction counseling, my doctor told me, or he was this foul-mouthed Jew from New York. And here I was on this like God-seeking Jesus deal, right? Yeah. I would talk about it. I went to church and this, and he's like, oh, okay, whatever, Jesus, you know. Well, he like 2 or 3 weeks or 2 or 3 sessions into this, he goes, hey, I want you to know something. I'm only teasing you about Jesus. I'm Jewish. It's an easy tease, right? It's an easy joke. I think it's wonderful. He said, your faith and what you're doing is going to heavily increase your odds of success of beating this addiction. So keep doing it. It's just a joke. And, you know, so I thought that was kind of funny, right? Yeah. But he was stern with me. He's very, very stern with me. And I can be manipulative, and I'm obviously charismatic and good with words, and he wasn't buying none of my crap. Right? So, and he would call me out on it. So he asked me in one of our sessions, he's like, what's your role in the house? I was like, well, I'm the man of the house. And he's like, okay, what's the man of the house? What's a real man?
Yeah.
And I go, I'm going through my head like, okay, I'm going to say this and he's going to destroy me if I say that. So no. And I'm like, he goes, that's your homework. Cause I couldn't say anything that I knew he wasn't going to just, I was to the point now where I was convicted enough of just destroying myself because I was realizing the dumb crap I was saying. Right. And so, he said, your homework. So I went home and did what anybody does this day. And I Googled, what's a real man? What's a real man look like? And this video of Lecrae came up, and it's a sermon that he did at some church, and it was just awesome, man. It hit hard, right? What a real man looks like. And I have sent this video, gosh, over the last 10 years of my sobriety, I've sent this video hundreds of men, could even be into 1,000. I've shared this video a lot. And my doctor that I work with now on an ongoing basis, he's my kind of mentor and coach. And he said, what's really cool about these podcasts and these videos and things you're doing, they'll perpetuate, they'll go on for years and years and years. And so your message will be delivered and heard for many years to come. And I was like, man, that's cool and I went and looked at that Lecrae video that I sent. It's 11 years old now. Wow. And it was only 10 years old. It was only a year old when I read it.
You read it, yeah.
And I've continued over the last 10 years to continue. So that was a big explanation of why I want to make sure that if you, what you can say now today to deliver a message, it could be heard for, who knows, hundreds of years really at this point, right? We don't know what technology is going to do. And So anyway, anything in particular that you want to make sure that's delivered to the world?
I think that if you think you're a leader, you need to really examine the type of leader that you want to be, right? Do you want to be a leader that because it's a status thing? Do you want to be a leader because you have influence? Or do you want to be a leader because you can use that influence to help others? Mm-hmm. And if it's the first two, then it's not a good reason to be a leader. And you need to really examine deep down why you're in your position and what you need to do with your life. But if it's that third one, then I think you need to seek through prayer, Jesus, and really learn, like, the most influential thing that you can do for someone is share the gospel.
Amen.
And I had never, before I got in this position, I had never shared the gospel with anybody. And the first time I shared it, I remember how scared I was about people looking at me and that I was going to say something wrong.
Yeah.
But if you can just share the hope that Jesus gives us, that's all you need to do, right? We're broken. We're broken people. And there's only one way, because Jesus loves us. Our Lord loves us. And he sent Jesus to die on that cross, be resurrected. And he says that all we have to do is believe that and profess it. Mm-hmm. That's all we have to do, is that he died on the cross and was resurrected from the dead to save us from our sin, to save us from that brokenness. Mm-hmm. And we can have eternity with him. And I think if that is the only thing you do as a leader to anybody that you have influence, it's the greatest thing that you can do in their life.
Amen.
And that's what I hope, if someone is nervous about that, but they definitely feel the call me.
Yeah.
Like I would love to talk you through that, give you some resources, give you a band, The Four. I don't know if you've ever seen The Four, but it's one of the best ways that I learned to share the gospel. And I know a lot of people use it, but I would love to just get connected with anybody that is seeking to be a better leader, especially with their faith.
Yeah. That's awesome, dude. You're a special dude, man.
I appreciate it, Tony.
Yeah, that's great. Dude, I could probably sit here all night.
Oh my, I could sit here forever. I know you got stuff to do.
Yeah, we got to get Tone to wrestling practice, but we'll continue on because yeah, I know, right? So you've been doing this since January, so this is fresh, man, and you're just getting going. So we're definitely going to do a second one of these here another time as the ministry grows and as you continue doing what you do. And I know you and I are going to be doing probably a lot of stuff together.
Absolutely,
yeah. Man, keep doing what you're doing, and I just want to encourage you that you know the things, but man, if you're ever in one of them questioning moments, and you're just kind of like, what am I doing? What's this all for, man? Call me, and it's I can remind you.
I would love that. Yeah.
I can remind you because
we all have those.
We do, man. I sometimes in my prayer, I'm mid-prayer, and I'm like, man, you better be real, because I'm sitting here talking to myself right now, if not, But, the thing is it's too much to risk if it is real.
Absolutely.
All right? Eternity's a lot to risk.
Yeah.
I tell everybody, man, if I'm wrong, I'm going in the ground and I'm worm dirt. What do I care?
Yeah.
I really don't care. But if I'm right, I'm going to be glad I did this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, all right, brother. Well, I'm going to hit my outro here. I appreciate your time, and dude, this is great. What a blessing for you to come in, and it's an honor to have you on here. And I expect to see and hear more big things coming out of you guys in that ministry.
Absolutely.
And I'll be
for
following
having me on here. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. All right. That's it for the, I don't know what episode this is now, but we're racking them up. It's
Keep going. Keep it going.
That's it for another another episode of the Stronger Leader Podcast. Listen, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and hit the bell so you get the notifications when all the new content drops. Be good, be blessed, and be stronger. That's it, bro. Awesome. That's a wrap.